Welcome back to Epic Genealogy. This is the big day I was talking about in the first Epic vlog. Big family event. Really looking forward to this. I'm glad it's going to be happening. This is something I've been waiting for. I've had contact before, so some of the detail here. Now, I made contact with Dennis a number of years ago by using Facebook, and what I did was I traced my family, my great-grandfather, Harry McDonald. I traced his brother. His brother Hugh's line. Went from Maine, Thomaston, Maine, down to Connecticut. Well, my great-grandfather went down to Long Island. He settled in Queens there on Long Island, so thank goodness that they did, because otherwise I would not be here doing this. So at some point the families did separate about 120 something years ago, because here the two brothers did leave Thomaston, but they did routinely spend the summer in Thomaston, Maine. Now, my great-grandfather wound up moving around because he worked for a company named Pratt & Lambert, which actually still operates on a different name today. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I'll put it in the video. And he was a varnish maker. So he did travel a bit, and he was in Buffalo, and then he was in Wellington. Yeah, I think it was Wellington in Canada, where Uncle Joe was born. So that his travel may have made it so that they were not going to be able to go to Thomaston, Maine every year to see the family. But there is a reunion that does take place, or was taking place, and we're hoping that we can get the McDonalds, the Mayos, and the Whitneys, and the other families together again. So hopefully after this, we'll be able to work on that, and that's something that maybe we can get that happen. Not necessarily this year, because it's already summer, but maybe we can work on that for next year. So I'm gonna get into my trusty Honda, and I am going to go to Phoenix and meet up with a McDonald cousin. And again, if you grow up with family like my wife did, this may not seem like that big of a deal, but I didn't. And so it's a really big deal for me to connect with cousins, and I think it's really cool to be able to put our family back together and not only have the names, but to actually connect the family again, especially when they've been apart for so long. So I'm gonna get in the car and I'm gonna go. So we'll see you in Phoenix. All right, I am here in Phoenix. It took about a half hour. I live in Mesa, Arizona, and I'm like a kid in before Christmas. I don't know why this is such a big deal, other than, it's been so long since the families were together, and it's the culmination of a year's worth of work. And I have other family that live in the valley, but they've been out of town for a while, and I haven't been able to schedule an opportunity to meet. But hopefully this is just the first of many to come. So just join me now. I'm going to go in and I'm going to finally get to meet Dennis, a cousin on my McDonald side. So here we go. All right, I'm walking up to the house now. This is incredible. Wow, holy crap.
Hey,
I gotta get this meeting.
My muscular second cousin, once removed.
Once removed.
I am Dennis Delahanty.
And
from
you're
South Weymouth, Massachusetts. Well, New Haven, Connecticut, South Weymouth, Massachusetts, Washington D.C., and now Lake Nona, Florida.
Well, that is incredible. So my great-grandfather, Harry McDonald, and your grandfather is Hugh McDonald.
Right.
And so they were brothers.
Right.
And so your grandfather went to Connecticut, and you actually grew up in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, until I was 4.
Okay.
Yeah, New Haven, Connecticut.
New Haven.
Yeah, all the relatives are in New Haven.
And then my family
was used to be.
Harry went to Long Island. I think he moved because he was working, but we could talk about that.
Yeah.
But this is epic. I have waited years.
Why is it epic? Because 100 years ago, or sometime in the 1920s or 30s, we don't know the details, our two families had a spat. The New York McDonald's,
there was
represented by this guy, a spat. It was more than a spat.
It was really?
Yes, because the New York McDonald's came to New Haven. This is what my mother told me. She just told me this little tiny piece of the tale. And there was some big fight, and the New York,
I'm hearing this for the first time.
The New York McDonald's drove back to New York in a huff and were never seen from again. And the families never had any communication since then.
I actually didn't know. I actually didn't know that.
So this is why this is an epic event. It's the reconciliation of the two parts, the two branches of the McDonald family. This is Mark McDonald.
Yeah.
I am Dennis McDonald Delahanty.
Yeah.
So we share the same name, the same last name.
And what's interesting interesting is there are people in Thomaston still whose middle name, I won't give the whole name out, but their middle name is McDonald because they were so close.
Oh.
And so
I've heard it's a New England thing to use a last name, like the mother's maiden name, as a middle name. And I always thought it was strange.
that's common, but
Growing
this
up.
is not his mother's maiden name. This is actually because it was the aunt. It was Evelyn McDonald. So we could talk more about that. So this is the first epic meme. We're going to get a lot more discussion because I want to hear about the spat.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Oh, unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. But what we can say, and this has been awesome, I really appreciate being able to meet up with you.
Say that Mark forgot to bring his hatchet.
I didn't bring the hatchet. I think
But next time we're gonna bring the hatchet and bury it.
we have officially buried the hatchet. Whatever was between
Symbolically, but not a real hatchet.
well, whatever was
This
between.
guy's gonna bring the hatchet.
Whatever was between our families, nostra familia, right?
Yeah.
I didn't make that.
Nostra familia.
Nostra familia. Whatever was between the two lines, these two McDonald lines, is well, we don't know what it was, so we have no choice but to forget it.
Maybe we can find a new reason to have a spat.
We can find a new, what?
No, maybe not.
Yeah,
Actually.
maybe
I think,
we can find out what it was.
yeah.
But it was awesome to finally get to meet you.
Yeah, same here.
And
Cousin.
I wish we had more time to spend, but that was awesome. And what we're going to try
What
to
do you
do.
call someone who has the same name, a co-name or something like that? We both have, you're Mark McDonald and I'm Dennis McDonald Delahanty. So now I've become even more proud of my middle name, McDonald. Today in Phoenix, Arizona, of all places.
Phoenix of all places, as hot as it is, but yes, that means
And
a
there'll
lot.
be more meetings between amongst the McDonalds. In the years
Yes,
to come.
and so the next
And
thing,
we'll see you on YouTube, all the McDonald family,
yes, and what we're going to
extended family.
and we've got to get them. So the next big thing is to get everyone, as many people as we can, with the Mayo, McDonald, and Whitney families up in Thomaston, Maine. So that's
That's our next goal.
That
next
is
project.
That is the next project. Yes.
Okay.
I'm back in Mesa, and that was awesome. That was only the first of many times where I plan to meet with family and get family connected back together. So if you're not subbed, get subbed. There's going to be a lot more content like that. Hopefully, I got a lot more things planned, so hopefully this will be a regular thing. Because that was great to finally meet somebody from that part of the family that we've been separated for 120 years. So that was awesome. So I'm looking forward to the next one.